took it. Damn, Rod, come on! What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow!
The death of Carl Weathers has left everyone in a state of disbelief and sadness. It's an irreplaceable loss that has left everyone feeling somber. However, after his death, something even more shocking has happened. The details shared by Sylvester Stallone, a longtime friend and colleague of Weathers, have shaken the entire United States. Stallone has revealed just how Carl Weathers faced discrimination and strived against challenges. Sylvester Stallone paid a heartfelt tribute to Carl Weathers.
Hello, everyone. Today is an incredibly sad day for me. I mean, I'm so torn up, I can't even tell you. I'm just trying to hold it in because Carl Weathers was such an integral part of my life, my success, everything about it. I give him incredible credit and kudos because when he walked into that room and I saw him for the first time, I saw greatness, but I didn't realize how great. I never could have accomplished what we did with Rocky without him. He was absolutely brilliant. His voice, his size, his power, his athletic ability, but more importantly, his heart, his soul. It's a horrible loss.
Stallone, visibly distressed, stood before a painting capturing a significant scene between them, pouring out his emotions to honor Weathers. In a candid moment, Stallone expressed, "Today's an incredibly sad day for me. I'm so torn up, I can't even tell you, because Carl Weathers was such an integral part of my life, my success, everything about it." He openly credited Weathers, recognizing the profound impact on his life and the success of the iconic Rocky franchise. Reflecting on their initial meeting, Stallone fondly recalled, "I give him incredible credit. When he walked into that room and I saw him for the first time, I saw greatness, but I didn't realize how great." Stallone acknowledged that achieving what they did with Rocky would not have been possible without Weathers, praising his brilliance, powerful voice, imposing size, athleticism, and most importantly, his heart and soul. While facing the painting, Stallone shared a poignant moment, saying, "I'm standing here in front of this painting because it was probably the last moment we were ever going to be in the ring together, and I'll never forget it." The emotion in his voice was palpable, struggling to hold back tears as he concluded with a heartfelt, "He was magic, and I was so fortunate to be part of his life." Stallone's heartfelt tribute provides a glimpse into the significant impact Carl Weathers had on his life, both professionally and personally. Watching Stallone nearly break down while honoring Weathers was genuinely moving, sparking speculation among fans if there might be more to Weathers' passing, something Stallone could be holding back. Stallone disclosed insights into the discrimination Weathers faced, especially within the Rocky franchise. Surprisingly, Weathers wasn't initially considered for the role of Creed. The twist? He secured the part because Stallone advocated for him. If Sly hadn't fought for Carl, we might have missed out on one of the most iconic characters in movie history. So how did Carl win the role when the studio wasn't keen on him? Here's the kicker. He straightforwardly insulted Stallone during the script reading. Weathers made an Apollo Creed-esque comment that Stallone couldn't ignore. Stallone spilled the beans, revealing that Weathers' remark felt so authentic to the character that he had to cast him. In an interview with The Rich Eisen Show, Carl admitted, "We read through the scene, and at the end of it, I didn't feel like it had really sailed, that the scene had sailed, and there was this moment of awkwardness, I felt anyway. So I just blurted out, 'I could do a lot better if you got me a real actor to work with.'" He criticized Stallone without even realizing it. Now here's where it gets intriguing. Stallone, the script's architect, understood how each character should come off on the screen. Instead of taking offense, he appreciated Weathers' bold responses. He thought, "This dude is a perfect fit for Apollo Creed." So unintentionally, Carl disrespected Rocky himself. But little did he know that the outburst precisely embodied the swagger of Apollo Creed. It's one of those moments where mistakes work in your favor. Weathers' brash attitude during the audition not only landed him the gig, but also propelled him into stardom. He carried that swagger and confidence throughout the entire 1980s, becoming an action hero for those who looked more like him than his white counterparts. Now, delving into another chapter of Carl Weathers' challenging Hollywood discrimination was the iconic movie Predator. This 1987 action horror film brought a different vibe compared to the Rocky series. Yet Weathers' character, Dylan, continued to defy norms for a black man during that era. The impact of it all in Predator is worth acknowledging. Weathers' Dylan wasn't merely another sidekick or a token character. Nope, he stood on the same level as the formidable Arnold Schwarzenegger's Dutch. Imagine this. The greeting between Dylan and Dutch was essentially the most testosterone-filled handshake in cinema history. This moment, now a meme sensation, went beyond being just a cool visual. It conveyed a powerful statement, especially considering the Hollywood scene of the late 1980s. To put it in perspective, Schwarzenegger reigned as the absolute king of the movie world at that time, a former Mr. Universe, or as Weathers humorously dubbed him on The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson in 1988, Mr. Everything. The kicker here is that Arnie rarely, if ever, encountered a match on screen. I mean, the guy lifted a tree trunk and carried it in commando like a bag of groceries. But then came Predator, and director John McTiernan changed the script. Weathers' character Dylan in Predator wasn't just regulated to a supporting role. He earned the same respect typically reserved for the action figures Schwarzenegger often portrayed. Even in the iconic levitated arm wrestling match scene where Dylan loses, the implication is that his new CIA role softened him up a bit. It was like a cinematic revolution, shattering stereotypes and placing Weathers in the spotlight he rightfully deserved. Predator became a game-changer, showcasing that Weathers could stand shoulder to shoulder with the biggest star on the planet, both on and off screen. Carl Weathers wasn't just a Hollywood legend, but also a supportive friend and mentor within the industry. Gina Carano, the former Mandalorian figure, spilled the details on her Star Wars co-star, sharing the story on Instagram. For those following the Star Wars drama, Gina Carano faced repercussions, being removed from The Mandalorian after making controversial comments in February of 2021. Despite not being brought back for the third season or any Star Wars spin-offs, Carl Weathers, known for playing Greef Karga and directing 9 episodes of The Mandalorian, reached out to Gina after her departure. Gina took to Instagram, revealing that Weathers personally called her right after she was fired. According to her, Weathers provided unwavering support, offering words of encouragement and becoming an emotional anchor she needed during those challenging times. He was gentle and encouraging, and didn't want me to give up. He was letting me know he wasn't throwing me away. He was trying to keep my hope alive in what seemed like quite a hopeless scenario. He showed me he cared. That's who he was, Gina shared. And the story got even more interesting. Gina unveiled their strong bond during The Mandalorian Seasons 1 and 2, disclosing that Jon Favreau believed Weathers would be the perfect mentor for her. Favreau, the show's mastermind, had Weathers direct Gina's first episode in Season 2. Gina emphasized that Weathers went beyond the role of a director. He served as both a mentor on and off set. With a calming presence, he would place his arms on her shoulders, looking straight into her eyes to soothe her spirit. Now here's the thing. Despite Carl Weathers' notable talent and supportive demeanor, a lingering question arises in some minds. People are pondering why he didn't achieve the same level of fame as the legendary Denzel Washington. Consider this. Weathers had an ideal start with Rocky, possessing good looks and charisma that practically radiated. Yet for some reason, he didn't quite reach that top-tier status. The debate gains traction. Arguments arise that Denzel Washington is simply a more skilled performer. Without a doubt, one of the key assertions in this discussion is that Washington has diligently honed his craft, putting in raw, hardcore work as a performer, which Weathers seemingly missed out on, and it's evident. Then there's talk about Denzel being a more universally appealing figure. Let's be honest, Denzel Washington possessed a broad appeal that garnered a massive fan base, especially among women. No disrespect to Weathers, who is also a heartthrob, but some argue it's not a fair competition between the two. And of course, there's the undeniable fact, Weathers' biggest starring film, Action Jackson, didn't exactly set the box office on fire. Had there been a blockbuster, the narrative might have shifted, potentially placing Weathers in the role of the second-tier black action star, a position Lou Gossett was aging out of at that time. Unfortunately, it underperformed, relegating Weathers back to supporting roles. Conversely, Denzel Washington has sustained economic success at the box office, maintaining A-list star status for over 25 years, becoming a Hollywood institution. Carl did secure leading roles in the early 90s with syndication series like Street Justice and stepped in for the ailing Howard Rollins on In the Heat of the Night. However, neither of these gigs evolved into the long-term TV love affair anticipated. Fast forward to the later part of his career. Weathers tried his hand at supporting roles in the sci-fi series Colony and legal drama Chicago Justice. Yet these didn't exactly provide the career boost needed, especially considering they came decades after Weathers reached his peak popularity. Now compare this to Denzel Washington's TV journey. His main television stint was nearly 4 decades ago in the hospital drama St. Elsewhere. The jaw-dropper is that he never truly made a full-fledged return to TV, except for occasional appearances in awards programs and some narration work. It's like comparing apples and oranges in the TV world for these two. Weathers took on various roles, but their longevity and major success in the television realm didn't quite parallel his big-screen triumphs. Meanwhile, Denzel briefly ventured into TV waters back in the day and largely remained true to his movie star status without fully embracing the small screen. Some argue that Weathers might have arrived on the scene a bit too early in the 70s and 80s, when opportunities for African-American actors to headline star vehicles were somewhat scarce. Denzel Washington found his groove towards the late 80s, becoming a prominent figure. In that era, there weren't many major African-American movie stars aside from Billy D. Williams. Even James Earl Jones, though respected, didn't quite reach the same level of stardom. Sidney Poitier, who had won an Academy Award almost 2 decades earlier, found himself in low-budget comedies by the 70s. Richard Pryor faced a similar situation, and it was Eddie Murphy who ultimately shattered the mold, demonstrating that a diverse actor could lead a movie successfully, particularly in comedies. Now here's where the Hollywood twist comes into play. Comedies generally have lower production costs than action films, and Murphy, already a significant name from Saturday Night Live, was seen as a lower financial risk. Despite Weathers' remarkable talent, it's unfortunate that he was somewhat underrated during that era. Nonetheless, let's not dwell on the drawbacks, because Carl Weathers truly carved out his space, leaving an indelible legacy before his untimely passing. Now fasten your seatbelts as we delve into his life and career, and I assure you, this man's journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Born on January 14, 1948, in New Orleans, Louisiana, Weathers had a modest upbringing, with his father working as a day laborer. By the 8th grade, he had already earned an athletic scholarship to St. Augustine High School, showcasing his versatility in sports like boxing, football, gymnastics, judo, soccer, and wrestling. He proudly graduated from Long Beach Poly High School in '66, excelling as a defensive end on the football field. Weathers commenced his college journey at Long Beach City College in 1966, but a nagging ankle injury benched him for the year. Despite this setback, he transferred to San Diego State University, emerging as a standout letterman for the San Diego State Aztecs in '68 and '69, under the guidance of legendary head coach Don Coryell. Weathers and his team achieved an impressive 11-0 record, securing the 1969 Pasadena Bowl and clinching a number 18 ranking in the final UPI poll. Simultaneously, excelling in football, Weathers nurtured a long-standing passion for acting, rooted in his grade school days. At San Diego State, he pursued this interest, earning a master's degree in theater arts. This dual focus on football and acting laid the foundation for his subsequent triumphs in Hollywood. In 1970, despite going undrafted, Weathers signed with the Oakland Raiders in the NFL, transitioning from a defensive end to a linebacker. Participating in 7 games, he contributed to the Raiders' AFC West Division title and their presence in the inaugural AFC Championship game. This period marked the inception of Carl Weathers' path to becoming a Hollywood legend. However, just before the 1971 season commenced, Weathers made a pivotal decision that reshaped the course of his football career. Opting for a change, he shifted to the strong safety position, marking a significant turning point on the gridiron. Yet despite this bold transition, Weathers found himself released by the Raiders in September of 1971. The unexpected reason behind the decision, as explained by coach John Madden, was, "You're just too sensitive." Undeterred by the setback, Weathers swiftly bounced back. In the same month of his release, he headed to the Canadian Football League and joined the BC Lions. Donning the Lions jersey until 1973, Weathers contributed in a total of 13 games during his CFL tenure. Interestingly, during the off-seasons, while leaving an impact on the football field, Weathers concurrently pursued academic goals. he enrolled at San Francisco State University, and by 1974 achieved a bachelor's degree in drama. In that same year, Weathers chose to retire from football, redirecting his focus toward his other passion, acting. Little did he anticipate that this shift would propel him into Hollywood stardom. Reflecting on his football career, Weathers participated in 8 games over 2 NFL seasons. While his contributions in the CFL didn't yield significant statistics, he did manage a single fumble recovery. As time progressed, Weathers maintained ties to the football world. Notably, he narrated NFL film season recaps for 1999, 2000, and 2001. A delightful twist occurred when he made a notable appearance on NFL Network's pre-draft coverage during the 2017 NFL Draft, showcasing his enduring connection to the sport that shaped his earlier years. Carl Weathers didn't limit his talents to the football field. He was also making waves in Hollywood. Starting as an extra, he balanced football games with movie sets before swiftly transitioning into more substantial roles. His friend Arthur Marks, director of Bucktown from 1975, and Friday Foster, also from 1975, played a pivotal role in putting Weathers on the cinematic map. Weathers made significant appearances on television, including a 1975 episode of the sitcom Good Times and a 1975 episode of Kung Fu, titled The Brothers Kane. He demonstrated his acting skills in an episode of Cannon titled The Hero. By 1976, Weathers delved into the crime drama genre, featuring as a loan shark in an episode of Starsky and Hutch, and portraying an elusive escaped convict, Jack Hopper, in an episode of Barnaby Jones titled The Bounty Hunter. The turning point in Weathers' acting career occurred in a bold move during the audition for the role of Apollo Creed in Rocky, alongside Sylvester Stallone. Rather than playing it safe, he openly criticized Stallone's acting, a surprising move that secured him the iconic role. He went on to portray the character in the next 3 Rocky films, Rocky II in 1979, Rocky III in 1982, and Rocky IV in 1985. In 1977, Weathers had a brief stint as an Army MP in one version of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, a cameo in a Spielberg classic. The following year, he took on the role of Vince Sullivan in the TV movie Not This Time, marking the beginning of Weathers' journey into action-packed roles. The late 70s and 80s positioned him as the go-to figure for action flicks, with titles like Force 10 from Navarone from 1978, showcasing his skills both on TV and in theaters, establishing him as an action star. The 80s marked a zenith of Carl Weathers' career, highlighting his versatility in various roles. In the 1987 sci-fi classic Predator, he faced off against an otherworldly predator, solidifying his status as an action star. Continuing his journey, he flexed his muscles in films like Action Jackson from 1988 and took on the challenge of a hurricane in Hurricane Smith from 1992. In an unexpected turn, Weathers hosted an episode of Saturday Night Live in 1988, proving he wasn't just a tough guy on screen, but also had the comedic chops to entertain a legendary show's audience. He made a memorable return to SNL in a skit in 2003. Weathers expanded his presence beyond the big screen, making a notable appearance in Michael Jackson's iconic Liberian Girl music video, adding flair to the King of Pop's visuals. His comedic talent shone through in the 1996 Adam Sandler comedy Happy Gilmore, where he played Chubbs, a golf legend teaching Happy the ropes. The role was well received, leading to a reprisal nearly 4 years later in Sandler's Little Nicky. However, the pursuit of his craft wasn't without challenges. While filming a fall stunt in Happy Gilmore, Weathers endured significant pain, fracturing 2 vertebrae. Despite the hardships, he persevered. Weathers also left a mark on the small screen, stepping into the role of Sergeant Adam Baudreau in the cop show Street Justice, where he laid down the law with style. Throughout his career, Carl Weathers proved to be more than just a big-screen hero, showcasing his acting prowess, comedic skills, and resilience in the face of adversity. In the last 2 seasons of In the Heat of the Night from 1992 to 1994, Weathers assumed the role of Hampton Forbes, making significant strides as the chief of police after succeeding Bill Gillespie. Additionally, he appeared as MC VSOG Colonel Brewster in the CBS series Tour of Duty. Fast forward to 2004, Weathers underwent a career shift, immersing himself in comedy. He became a comedic sensation in 3 episodes of the series Arrested Development, portraying a frugal acting coach for Tobias Funke. The comedy journey continued with roles in films like The Sasquatch Gang and The Comeback, showcasing Weathers' versatility. He also took a guest role in 2 episodes of The Shield, stepping into the shoes of the former training officer of the main character, Vic Mackey, adding a new layer to the gripping cop drama. Whether delivering justice, donning the chief's hat, or bringing laughter, Carl Weathers proved he's not a one-trick pony on television. His diverse roles highlight his ability to navigate various genres with skill and diversity. In 2005, Weathers played Colonel Samuel Garrett in the video game Mercenaries: Playground of Destruction. He served as a narrator for Conquest: The Price of Victory, a TV show focused on USC athletics. Outside of acting, Weathers was a principal at Red Tide Media, a company creating tactical training films for the U.S. Armed Forces. During the finale season of ER in 2008, Weathers made a notable appearance. He contributed to the Rocky film series, particularly in Rocky Balboa from 2006. Stallone sought permission to use footage from previous films, leading to Weathers allowing it for Creed in 2015, highlighting their professional evolution. In the later years, Weathers played the father of characters in the 2009 Fox sitcom Brothers. He ventured into advertising, featuring in Old Spice commercials for NASCAR driver Tony Stewart and web commercials for Credit Union of Washington. Weathers returned to the screen in 2019 as Greef Karga in The Mandalorian, earning an Emmy nomination. On February 1, 2024, the legendary Carl Weathers peacefully passed away at 76 in his Los Angeles home. Despite industry challenges, Weathers crafted a legacy, showcasing resilience and talent. It underscores the persistent challenges people of color face in Hollywood, but Weathers left an indelible mark, proving true talent shines through despite the hurdles. Thanks for watching this video. If you found it informative and interesting, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family.